Do you know your magic number to retire? What about your current net worth? If you don't know these, then this video is for you. Over half of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and I suppose because they don't understand where their net worth should be by age group. In today's video, I will share with you net worth by age. I will also share tips to get you back on track if you feel like you have fallen behind so that you can buy a house, raise a family, and retire comfortably. And by the way, before we jump in, I'm Brandon. Over the last 10 years, I've worked on Wall Street and I've launched a $100+ million venture capital fund. It's safe to say I know a few things about how the wealthy think about saving and growing their wealth, and I'll share those tips with you today. First, let's start simple. What is your net worth? Okay, so to start with net worth, it's assets minus liabilities. So what are your assets? The assets are the things you actually own. So it could be your house, it could be your car, it could be collectibles, etc. Anything you own is considered an asset. Now, what is a liability? A liability is typically anything you owe. So if you have to pay something on credit cards, if you have to do anything on a mortgage or a car loan, etc., those are your liabilities. So all your assets, add those up and then take away all your liabilities, and then what's left over is your net worth. Okay, let's jump into an example. Let's say Jane has a few assets. She has a $250,000 house. She has $15K in her bank account. She has $25,000 in savings, and she has $50,000 in her retirement accounts. And then lastly, she owns a $40,000 car. These are her assets. And then let's line these up for her liabilities. So on that house, she has a $180,000 mortgage. She has $10,000 in credit card debt, and she has $25,000 student loans. And lastly, she still owes $20,000 on the car note. So her net worth is roughly $145,000. And quick note, as I show net worth, I'm going to show the median, which is like the dead middle of all of the numbers. I'm going to show the average, which includes the smallest and the largest outliers. And I'm going to show the top 1%, what they make. Okay, let's start with age group 18 to 24. Now, the median here is roughly around $10,000. You also have your average here, which is around $112,000. And then the top 1% in this age group make $650,000+ for their net worth. Now, it is okay if you're in this age group and your net worth isn't at the median or at the average, because this is the beginning of your journey of building your wealth. You have so much time ahead of you. Now, for me, what I would focus on is just not spending beyond your means. I did previously do a video called the 65-15-20 rule, which teaches you essentially how to keep all of your big expenses under 65% of your income. You invest 15% of your income, and then the last 20% of your income, you can use it for guilt-free spending. I will leave that video in the description below. Okay, now on to the next group, 25 to 29. Let's look at this net worth. So the median is $31,000. The average is $120,000+, and the top 1% in this category is over $2 million. Okay, during this period of time, you want to work on building a skill set. You want to be heads down at your job, and you want to work on your craft. Your job is to make sure that you are being a sponge. You're understanding and soaking up all the knowledge at work. You're focused on finding mentors. You're focused on networking. Like, you want to just get very active at work. Now, you don't have any responsibilities. You don't have a partner, you're not married, you don't have kids, you don't have a house, you don't have to pay tuition for anything. You just literally have to be alive and build your skill set. So again, just like the last age group, your job is just to not spend beyond your means. But something I want to say to you here, because you don't have any responsibilities, you're starting to move up in your career, I think this could be a good time for you to live it up a little bit. Live it up within the budget. Okay, so you can go on the trips, you can go to the music festivals, you can go skiing, you go to brunch, you stay out late with friends, do all those things. Check off this stuff on your bucket list, because after this, like, you'll be starting to get into responsibility mode. Now, the last point here is, now that you're starting to make just a little bit more and you're being responsible within your means, it's time to start paying down bad debt. So if you have any debt that's above 6% on the interest side, start paying it down. So that's student loans, that's car loans, that's credit card debt. Start to pay that down monthly. So the next age group is 30 to 34. Now, the median here is $88,000. The average is $258,000. And the top 1%, right over $2.6 million. So in this age group, you see that you have a pop in your network, mainly because you're moving from an entry-level job to a middle management. You're starting to build a skill set. You're starting to get a lot of pay rises, maybe even got a side hustle going. What I suggest to people in this age is go narrow, specifically go niche, build a specific skill set, be known for that skill set, not only at your work, but in your community. So your mentors, your colleagues, your mentees, anyone who you went to school with knows that you are a consumer banker. Now, like I said before, you're going to have to start thinking about responsibilities soon. You will most likely in this time frame be moving in with a partner. You're going to be starting to think about marriage and family building. I think it makes sense to start diversifying, not just into stocks. Maybe you're doing real estate. Maybe you're doing bonds. Maybe you're doing some other type of investing. Maybe you're just saving cash a little bit more, but you're thinking more long term. Now, the other thing you're thinking about here is increasing your salary, your take home pay. So your job is to go on LinkedIn or to go on some of these websites and see how much your position gets paid at other companies. And if it's not comparable, go talk to your boss and ask for a raise. And if that company doesn't give you a raise, potentially think about leaving and going somewhere else. If you can make 15, 20, 30, 40,000 more somewhere else, I think it's worth thinking about going to interview and moving over to where you can get paid more. All right, on to the next age group, which is 35 to 39. Our median is 138,000. Our average is 500,000, and our top 1% is 4.7 plus million. All right, between 35 and 39, this is the first time you're going to start thinking conservative. From 18 to about 34, you're being aggressive. You're investing, you're taking risks, you're doing all these different things. After 35, we're getting a little older, so it's time to start thinking about long-term and being more conservative. At this point, you probably have a partner, most likely married, and if you don't have kids, you're preparing to have them very soon. You're looking for housing, you're looking for schools, and liabilities potentially will be going up. And this is when you can start thinking very intentionally about your net worth. And here's a rule of thumb, and I'll continue to bring these up as we go in further into age groups. But the simple rule of thumb, right around when you're 35, is to have at least 1x of your yearly take home saved or invested. So if I make $75,000 a year, by 35, I should have $75,000 saved and or invested. Okay, now we're on to 40 to 49 age group. All right, the median at 40 to 49, $173,000. The average, $686,000. Top 1% is well over $8 million in net worth. Okay, I'm going to share something that most people may not agree on. At this age, you are probably going to buy a house. Now, if you buy a house, that's simple and straightforward. You just put down 20% and you buy a house. Now, only 60% of people buy houses. So what do those other 40% do? They rent. So what I would say, even if you are going to be a renter, potentially think about buying a investment property, or even just do it for a small period of time. What I did back home in Cleveland is I bought a 3-unit or a multi-family home. Because I was going to live in one of the units for at least 1 year, I got an FHA loan. That loan let me put down only 3.5% instead of the full 20. And as long as I lived in the house for 1 year, I can move out and then move a tenant in, and I can let all those tenants just pay off my monthly mortgage, and eventually long term, I would have a full house that is dedicated to me, that I don't live in, that has been paid off by somebody else. If you guys ever want me to go deeper to FHA loans or maybe a little bit about real estate, Let me know in the comments below. Now for savings and investments, I want to do age 40 and 45. At age 40, you should have 2x your income saved or invested. So using that same $75,000, by 40, I should have $150,000 saved or invested. And for 45, you should have at least 3x saved or invested of your yearly income. Okay, now on age 50 to 59. Median is right around 293,000. The average is 1.2 plus million, and the top 1% net worth in this age group is over $14 million. Now, right here, you should be at least halfway, if not more, to paying off your mortgage. That's for your home, or that's for your investment property. So soon you will be mortgage free. So soon you will live in a house that you don't have to pay a mortgage on anymore, or soon you will have a rental property that you don't pay a mortgage on and you get some good passive income from. For saving and investing, at the age of 50, you should have saved 5x your take-home income, and at age 55, you should have 7x of your take-home income saved down. All right, age 60 to 69. We have our median of $390 plus thousand. We have our average of 1.7 million, and we have our top 1% of almost $20 million. Now, unfortunately, every decade after this, your net worth goes down. Now, why? It kind of makes sense. After age 65, even age 70, you're going to start to think about retirement. You're going to start to tap the 401k, tap the IRA, tap all these things. You're also going to stop working. So you will start to deplete a little bit of your nest egg that you've been saving since 18, which makes sense and it's totally fine and it's okay. You can't take the money with you, so you might as well start to spend it. Now, what are the good things here? The good things here is that your mortgage is paid off. So you either live in rent-free or you have amazing passive income coming in from a house that you didn't even have to pay for. Your tenants paid for it. And because you're getting a little bit older, you might not be moving around as much or trying to keep up with the Jones and the next door neighbors as much, so your spending will decrease. So it's actually totally fine that your net worth is starting to go down a little bit because you're not spending as much, you don't have as many liabilities, and you are just trying to enjoy life. So basically, here's the deal. At the end of the day, it's more about lifestyle. It's not about spending money. It's not about having $20 million at the age 69. It's about the lifestyle you want to live. Now here, listen to this Harvard study on longevity. I'm going to read it to you now. According to an 85-year Harvard study, the number one thing that makes people live longer is good relationships. Contrary to what you may think, it's not the career achievements, it's not the money, it's not exercise or a healthy diet. The most consistent finding we've learned through 85 years of this study, positive relationships keep us healthier, happier, and have us living longer. Now, all this information means nothing if you don't understand how to grow your net worth. Please make sure you go watch my recent video about how you can grow your net worth at light speed.